So hello everybody, it is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting with the recovering Democrat Donovan Sadiq, and this is our edition of the Demetra K podcast. Of course, we don't have an audience today because we kind of want to take it back to the old school where Donovan and I will fight like cats and dogs over everything you can think of. And really just to give our opinion a little bit more on different topics. Of course, we'll always go live on Sundays and, a different day throughout the week if, something pops up. But we are going to start releasing these videos on this podcast once a week. And you can catch the Demetra K podcast on what platforms, Donovan?
All of them. iHeartRadio, anything that carries a podcast, it will usually go to. So just your local ones. Spotify, all that good stuff like that. So Spreaker, stuff like that.
All right. So again, this is the Demetra K show on YouTube, and if you guys haven't already, can you subscribe to the channel? Definitely like this video and think about becoming a member. And also, we have different ways to donate here at the bottom of the screen. All right. So Donovan has not seen this video yet, so I'm going to get his first time reaction, and he and I think that's how you say it, grammatically correct, are going to have this conversation. So let's see what happens here. One moment. This is in real time, y'all, real live. Okay, here we go.
What you say? I gotta show you.
You know what? That's not a video, though.
You have a hole in your shirt.
So I'm big or muscular. I know you look like you live in the middle.
No.
You live in the middle?
Let me see what kind of shoes you got. You flooding. I'm good. You got my hatchback. I'm good.
Hey, but I own it, though. And they car payment.
Yeah, that's cool, bro.
You only put a baby in the car, I'm broke, though.
You didn't even try to help me with my gas. If you was real, you would have put that gas in here for me.
Nah, man. You got 2 kids and shit, car seats here. I'm told. I'm soccer mom.
My daughter's sitting here watching it. She's got all kind of reactions going on. If you understand, and Donovan gives his opinion. And so, Donovan, on your first reaction of watching that video, what are your thoughts?
Okay. First of all, welcome to the Demetra K podcast, you guys. It's good to have you here. It's good to be back doing the podcast in regards to what we're doing. That video, very problematic. As we know, people are out there doing certain things in videos and, to get likes and whatever. Now, here's my problem with the video. For all that young lady knows is she was being catfished. For all she knows, she's being catfished. That guy could have been a football player. He's a fairly big guy. He could have been out there, okay, I'm going to go out there, and kind of see, what I could do. He could be a millionaire. She doesn't know that until you get to know the man. You can't judge a book by its cover. So, for her to call the guy busted, busted, you ain't got no money, you broke. If that's how you're looking at men, which is her right to look at men like that, it goes to show she has very poor interrelation skills. It really does. And that's one of the biggest problems, I think, that's going on between black men and black women. And I'm going to make this real short. And this is my point when I'm talking about black men and black women. Okay, 70% of black people live below, at, or just above the poverty line. The expectations of black women that black men, the 70% of us, are going to have money like the white boys have or the Asians have, is totally unrealistic. So for her to come out there and say, oh, well, you're broke. Again, broke is a state of mind. I'm just seeing this with the young girls. If you come from the hood, how do you expect me to be rich, whatever you think that is, if I come from the same neighborhood as you? So a lot of problems with that video. A lot of problems.
All right, so I have a bunch of questions, but my daughter wants to chime in here. So what say you after you watch that video? And then she's what you consider a millennial, by the way.
First of all, you asked me to chime in because I was watching.
Okay, well, what you get? Can you hear it, Donovan?
It's a sad day when I actually agree with Donovan. So, yeah, the whole video was a hot mess, but I think what was more concerning was that she went into the conversation with a materialistic mindset of, well, you should have pumped my gas if you was really trying to approach me, and you busted, you got a hole in your shirt, you flooded, you all this. It's like, ma'am, we're at the gas station, one. And two, when we go into relationships and approaching people and dating with a hedonistic mindset, that's how we end up baby mamas. Thank you for coming to my TikTok.
Okay. Well, thank you. So anyway, there's so many questions here. So when I first saw the video, I actually watched it twice because I was like, maybe I'm misunderstanding something. So what it sounds like, she's pumping her gas at night, which is to me kind of problematic, but I digress. He walks over to her. It seems like he's pretty cool. He didn't come, wild style, if you will. Asked her for her number, and as Donovan and my daughter both said, she commenced to clowning him. Oh, look at the hole in your shirt, and you got a hatchback car, look at your shoes, and all of that, and you didn't help me pump my gas. And of course it went downhill because I think the fella was a little bit, maybe his ego or his feelings was hurt. Then he commenced to saying to her, well, look at you broke because you only put $20 in your car. Now, I don't know where they're at, but it sounds like whatever $20 is, where they're at, is not a lot of money for gas. And it just went downhill. But I agree with you two in that you don't know who that man might have been. It was at night. Maybe he was home and he was like, you know what? Damn. I gotta put gas in my car because I gotta get up early. Let me just run out the house really quick. I mean, how many of us have gone out the house looking less than just because we had to go do something, right?
Late at night where there's not a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. Good point. So he's probably thinking, okay, let me just go dip out the house real quick, and I'm gonna dip right back in. And in the process, you see a honey. I'm assuming she was attracted to him because he walked up to her, saw somebody he liked, and he thought, okay, well, let me get a tuber. Let me pump my gas, and let me see if I can get a number, right? Take her out or whatever. And y'all saw the rest. And so I'm just like, I have so many questions. But Donovan, what say you before I ask my question?
Well, and another thing we got to take an aspect is, okay, with these modern women and these feminazis out here, this is where men get really confused. If y'all could do everything yourself, why would you expect me to pump your gas? Not saying that she's of that ilk because I don't know her yet. But you see what I'm saying? That's why a lot of these guys, we don't open doors and, because unless I'm dating you, like if I was dating you, Demetri, we're on a date, yeah, I'm gonna open my, door for you, let you know, and, because I'm trying to make a good impression, but I'm just meeting you. So if I just went up to your car and just started pumping your gas, that could be a fight right there because you don't know if I'm putting sugar in your tank. You see what I'm saying? It's like, you guys sit on the fence and you blow whichever way the wind goes. But if it doesn't go good for me, it could be a jail sentence or a misdemeanor, Yeah,
because I kind of see that. I'm going to put myself in her shoes. So let's say a man comes up to me and pumping my gas. I don't know him from Adam, right? He comes up to me and he says, hey, hi, whatever. And he would approach me. Let me pump your gas, baby. I would be like,
wait. Is he talking about actually pumping the gas, or is he using a euphemism?
The gas in the car.
Okay, gotcha. Because some people use it as a euphemism,
I've had that happen to me a few times where I, was pumping my gas and a man came up and, maybe trying to shoot a shot, say, oh, let me pump your gas for you. And I say, oh, no, that's okay, I got it. And then we might have a little small conversation or something, just really to kind of let him know that I'm not telling you not to pump my gas because, I got it like that. Because, I really don't know you, and I don't want you to go out of your way. And because I kind of knew that me allowing him to pump my gas was going to have him go to the next level, which I didn't want him to, because I had somebody at the time. So I don't even want it to go that way to where you say, oh, hey, by the way, can I have your number? I'd like to take you out sometime. So it was, oh, that's okay, I got it. But how you doing today type of thing, right? So, but to your point, it could be problematic because what if okay, so let's take that particular woman. The way she came at him simply for saying, hey, can I get your number? Imagine if he did go there and try to pump her gas. She might have, okay, let's also address this. She had him on video. Or, put it on TikTok or wherever it was. So it's like, imagine if he would have tried to pump her gas. She might, oh my God, he tried to do something to me. All of that. So what about that, Nadia? What do you think about this culture of, and I said use this term, pulling a man's pants down, or anybody's pants down to humiliate them on the internet. What you think about that?
Well, again, this is where these young girls are at, shaming black men, and then they, what man wants to be humiliated? And, it's bad enough. It's bad enough, as men, we shoot our shot, and it's a 50-50 crapshoot. You know what I mean? And some of us, some of you women are so beautiful. It takes a lot of courage for us to go up. I'm not saying you guys got to give us any sympathy because we know what we get into when we take it. But now you're putting us on video, which she has every right to record, but you're putting on TikTok to humiliate us. That's one thing. You're doing it to humiliate us. And, who wants to be humiliated? I don't mind being on video, but I don't want to be humiliated at the same time. Because notice, we don't know if she had a weave on her head and she looked like a Morlock that time of night. Notice she didn't show what she had on. And then if you guys watch that video, because he was leaning on her car, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys look into the window of the back car of the window when he was leaning on the car? That's what I noticed. I saw Coke bottles in the back.
Like Coca-Cola bottles.
Yeah, Coca-Cola bottles.
Right.
So is her car trashy?
You know what is funny? Because when I watched that, I thought too was kind of unkempt, if you will.
Yeah.
It looked like it was a lot going on, and then he also pointed out, you got 2 car seats, so I'm good anyway. He called her soccer mom and all of that. But when I think of somebody filming that and putting it on the internet, I think 2 things. One is to humiliate him, and another one is, look at me, I'm all of that. He came over to me, and to me, it seems like, maybe she had her phone in her hand already, and, she was like, okay, this could be interesting. Let me film him, because how does she really know what he was going to ask her? And so that's the second part is, well, look at me. I'm all that. Watch me shoot this Negro down. Watch me, ladies, complain, because I don't know what her situation. All other times I can't find a good man. I ain't got a man. All these dudes ain't this, that, the other. Right. But watch me pull this man's pants down in the middle of the gas station so I could be more than I'm supposed to be.
And the funny things that you're bringing it up, there was a viral video that went viral a couple months ago about the woman that had 5 children, and the guy approached her. He was a bartender, and it sounded like she was from Louisiana, and she really humiliated because she was like giving him an interview, and she's like, "Oh, I got 5 kids by 4 different baby daddies," and da 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 da. And the guy's trying to shoot his shot, and she's like, "What kind of car are you driving?" He was like a 2013 Monte Carlo. Oh, she's like, "Oh no, I don't even speak that. I speak Mercedes. I speak, and don't get me wrong, she was an attractive woman, so he was shooting his shot, like I said before. Men, we take a 50-50 shot, but then she takes the video and puts it up to go viral, whatever. And then there was a lot of backlash for her, how she shot him down, or how she was acting in the video. Then she puts another video up talking about, I don't understand why people are going to come for my kids. My kids are very well taken care of, and blah, 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 right? Well, obviously, if you put the video up, you wanted people to comment and get into your business, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of these women are delusional, and it's not just black women alone. There's other women that are delusional as well, but they're not as delusional in regards to financial aspect of where their man is to where other men are. Do you see what I'm saying? And you don't really see a lot. I have yet to see a Hispanic video where a woman is saying and posting a video like that.
So
I haven't see that.
What are your thoughts? I know we don't know this woman, and we're going to get to him in just a second. Mm-hmm. But what are your thoughts about her? What's going on in her mind that she
she's been
that she feels
brain.
like she can do that. So do you think it's a cultural thing? Do you think it's women nowadays, or maybe it was just her thinking more of herself than she ought to?
Yeah, no. Because when it's more than one, it's a cultural thing. Well, I wouldn't say culture, but it's a modern woman thing. This is something that she was taught from grandma on down, because it's like hoeing. Hoeing goes back 3 generations. So you got grandma, child, granddaughter. You know what I mean? It's like a family business. It's always 3. It's always in 3. So it's the same thing. So we have these millennials and these younger type kids, right? So if grandma, okay, it's like you and let's say your mom. Your mom taught you to have your own and be strong and independent when you need to be. When you need to be. The big difference. When you need. Mm-hmm. But then our generation, for some reason, was telling our daughters and our, oh, you don't need no man, you don't need it. And black men are guilty of this too within our culture. Black men are guilty of this too. I saw a video where a guy was saying, if a man don't treat you like your father treats you, then, you don't need him. Kind of on the same aspect of independent, mothers telling their daughters, you don't need no man, whatever. But as a man, I'm listening to this guy on the video say that. I said, wait a minute. And excuse my language on this, you guys, but is the father fucking the daughter? Why would a man treat his daughter the same way when his relationship dynamic is different? So when you see a girl say, oh, my princess status, my dad treated me like a princess. Yes, rightly so. That's your father. He should be treating you like a princess. But to expect a man to do exactly what your father did, that isn't the same dynamic. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, I get it, because I think when a person says, you should treat a woman like her father treats her, I think that's depending on how the father treats her. So we're going to assume that the father treats her very well, like I said, open doors, teaches her what to expect from a man as far as maybe being a provider and protecting her and making sure that she's respected and she's spoken to the way he would speak to his daughter in a loving way, and all of that. So that's what I hear, because I too am a daddy's girl per se. And so when I hear that, I hear those things. I don't hear anything physical or sexual. I hear more or less, how would my dad speak to me?
Right. No, and you're right in that aspect. But the aspect of that guy saying that, if that's my daughter, I'm gonna give her gifts. I'm gonna do, these are things I do as a father, not as a husband or somebody that's with her. Because I noticed one thing in the video. He never mentioned how he treats his wife.
Well, I mean, that's a good point. I think on the other hand, it's problematic when a woman is always comparing who she's with to her father. Well, my daddy would, my daddy would never, and then, my daddy, and you should do what my daddy did, and my daddy would. Okay, then you should, in the case that you made, go be with your daddy.
Go be with your daddy.
Because no man, and I'm going to say this, and this is no shade to any man, okay? If you have a good dad in your life as a woman, it's going to be pretty hard for any man that you get with to measure up to the standards of your father. That's not a ding to any man. Absolutely. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, especially if you had a good dad and your dad instilled love and knowledge and just you are a queen.
Yeah,
all of that. If he instilled that into you, and most women who have a good dad, that was the first man that she ever loved. Even if he had a bad dad, right? That's the first man that you had any interaction with, relationship-wise, not like that. But if so, especially if he's a good dad, you probably are going to use your dad as a litmus test when you're looking for a man.
Absolutely.
Which, if you have daughters, and Donovan, you have a niece, and you're a good guy, you wouldn't want your nieces to be with anybody less than you treat them, would you?
No. But at the same time, though, their relationship with me is totally different than the person that they might have a relationship with. I get it, but I'm saying, as far as how you treat them with the respect and right. But But again, it has to go both ways. Be realistic. You can't expect this young man who is just starting out in the wonderful struggle, as we call it, of being in the world, and we all went through it, to just shower you with this and shower you with that. Because if I'm the father, like in that situation, there's no way in hell that father could tell me that him and his wife didn't struggle and have their problems and stuff like that. That takes years. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. So what I'm saying is when these women come out there and they're like, oh, I need to be this and my princess status will be revoked. Ladies, if you're listening to me, when you leave your parents' home and daddy's not looking over you, your princess privileges have been revoked because you are now in the real world. You're not looked upon in the real world as a princess when you leave the kingdom. Good example. Demetra, you have a very good dad. You have left the kingdom. Your dad is still there, but you're outside the kingdom now.
Yeah, and okay, so if we're speaking of gifts, like if my dad was one of those who I got a Mercedes for my 16th birthday, which I did right away. Right. My dad was cool, but I had a tough dad. Let's say I got a Mercedes for my 16th birthday, and I would just gone on all these trips, and I had all the latest bags and shoes, and my dad was that kind of guy that just spoiled me with stuff. Right. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think, unless you're married off to somebody who is well off, but even if you're married to somebody, when I'm just speaking from my experience as a woman, even if you are married off to somebody who is well off and could do those things, I don't think you should measure him and how he treats you by the things that he gives you. Because I know, for me personally, they have these love languages, right? And my love language is quality time. And actually, gifts or being given things is actually like the last of all of the, I think it's 5, love languages. Receiving gifts is like the last thing. Are they nice? Yes. But I'm not going to judge him on, well, you didn't do this. You didn't do that. Well, you didn't give me this right. You didn't give me that. Those things are nice, but I would prefer a man that is respectful to me, that speaks to me in a respectful manner, that protects me, and does, help me as far as provide. And, I'm not saying do all the provide, because I know, like you said, we don't really live in that day and age where the most men, rather, could do all of the heavy lifting. But, if you could provide those things for me, I'm good. And the gift is just like, oh, thank you for thinking of me. But
right.
Yeah.
Now, circling back to the video, you have a whole culture, 2 generations of young women and men, young boys, raised by single mothers. Remember, I told you a hoeing goes back 3 generations. And I'm not calling people hoe. I'm just saying that's a woman teaches a woman, right? So if grandma was in a bad relationship, I'm not saying in all cases, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Oh, you don't need no man to get your own girl. Hey, a house divided can't stand. A house divided can't stand. So these modern girls nowadays, not only have feminism in their head because women go by emotion. Women are more emotional. I can't say go by it, but they're more emotional than men, right? So everything with a woman, if you listen to what they're saying, sometimes you hear them say it. I feel. The real world doesn't give a damn how you feel. That's why men are logical. It's what is, right? So you've got this young lady in this video. She's been raised under that aspect of a man's got to have this, a man's got to have that. It don't matter. I'm broke and got 2 car seats in the back. It don't matter. See what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not saying they're delusional, but they're delusional. There's a podcast called The Poor Man's Podcast, and there was this big, beautiful girl on the show. And he refuted everything that she was saying about, because she was like, well, I think a man and woman are equal. We're not equal, ladies. Ladies, at the end of the day, men and women are not equal. Okay. But she said, oh, no, we're born the same. We got the same kind of brain. No, a man can't have a baby. You guys can't do this, whatever. We are not the same. So get that out of your heads, ladies. We are not the same. We're different species. So this generation of lady, this big old girl, she was sitting there talking about a high quality man. Remember, she was big, but she was attractive in the face, but she was a big girl. And she was just totally delusional. And she was sitting there talking about, well, I can get a high value man. I can get a high value man. Notice what I just said there. If you go to the podcast, she says, I can get a high class man. What the hell are you waiting for? You see what I'm saying? That's how delusional a lot of these young girls are, because it's always like saying, oh, like me, oh, I can get a Beyonce. It could happen. It could happen. Yeah, in my dreams.
I mean, it could happen. Anything is possible. It could.
Yeah, but that's not reality. That's not reality. You know what I'm saying? And that's what she was saying. So we were like, well, you're single right now. If you look at the podcast, it's like, well, you're single right now. So there's a lot of high value men out here. So how come you haven't done it yet? Stop complaining. Go do it.
Okay, so let's switch it to him. Okay, let's go to the guy.
Yeah, the hero. Yeah.
The hero. Do you think he should have maybe not stepped to her being the way he was dressed? I'm just playing devil's advocate now, okay?
Yeah, absolutely not.
Do you think maybe she had a point, like you had a hole in your shirt, you got flip-flops on with socks?
Nope. See,
again. Chubby, I guess.
Yeah, see, again, but he could have been a football player. I thought, when I first saw the video, I thought it was Damian Woodley who played for the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
At first, that's what I thought. No, absolutely not. Again, here we are, and I'm not saying you, Demetra, but I'm just saying women have this expectation that men think like women. We don't. We could be out there in total rags. If we see a woman that's attractive to us, we are going to go and shoot our shot, period.
Let me flip it. Okay. So let's say she was dressed like that. Let's say she was running out to the store, and we don't know what she looked like. But let's say she was running out to the gas station in the middle of the night, and she had a bonnet on her head, and maybe she had a chicken frying dress on, mm-hmm. a house dress, and some house shoes. Do you think the same sympathy would have been shown to her as it was to the guy?
Yeah. Because
really?
again, ladies, men do not think like women unless they've been feminized. So
if you saw a young lady in a bonnet, a chicken frying house dress, and house shoes, pumping her gas, you would have went over to her?
Yes, because here it is. See, this is what you women don't understand. I know you guys want us to, be a certain way. That isn't how men operate. If we do not have this chip inside our heads that help us keep procreating the species, the human race would not exist, right? Males in all mammal species have a propensity to mate. So I see this young girl. She's working at McDonald's. She's young. She's got the bonnet on, whatever the deal is. If she's attractive to me, I'm going to shoot my shot. That's just
I'm talking about in the same situation.
She's in rags or whatever. If she's attractive to me, because men are visual, I'm going to shoot my shot.
If this lady had a bonnet down in that,
well, no. Yeah, we know me, but what I'm saying is speaking for men. I'm just generalizing the thing for men because I don't want to speak for all men, but men know what I'm talking about. If we think we have an opportunity with you, we are going to shoot our shot. Now, she's in rags, right? She's got a bonnet on. She's got some nice cassava melons in front of her. And a nice big onion that I can see. Because men, when we look at you ladies, this is the truth. We look at you in your clothes and we imagine what is under those clothes. That's how men think, period.
I just take your word for it, but I know I've heard chatter and conversations that say differently from you and other men. And, I know we're not live, but fellas, if that was the scenario I just described, would you do what the gentleman did and go up to a woman that had a bonnet, a house dress on, maybe it was a little tattered and stained, I don't know, because she's working around the house in house shoes? Would you approach her and expect for her, or I won't say expect for her to do anything, but would you approach her? Because I'm just trying to really flip the scenario because he was dressed kind of,
Demetra. All these women that you see in their pajamas at Walmart and stuff, they all got a man. Notice they have babies. Somebody's approaching these girls.
Were they like that when they dressed like that when they got approached?
Some of them, yes. Yes. You're in Houston. I challenge you, my sister. Go to where the area is and just sit there and observe. And I guarantee you,
Listen, there's a Walmart around the corner for me, and I'm like,
yes, I'm telling you, they will shoot their shot because it is a chip that's ingrained in men. It's just something that we will do.
The line of demarcation at this particular Walmart is so bad that my daughter, myself, and my niece went there.
We went out to keep them out.
No, we went out to dinner and we were dressed, nothing snazzy, but just clothes on, hair combed and stuff. And this guy came up to my niece and says, "You all are very beautiful. You guys must not be from around here." I was like, "Is that?" But and I'm not even going to say where the Walmart is, but it is in Houston, right?
Okay.
You will see bonnets, pajamas, house shoes, and all the things you can think of that's, you probably wouldn't see in Target or in a Walmart in a better part of town per se. I mean, I was looking on a shelf or something and there was a chicken bone on the shelf. I'm like, so what Negro, because I'm pretty sure it was a Negro, okay?
Well,
walking around Walmart eating chicken.
And then leave their bones. Well, come on, Demetri. You're from California. You'll go into a Walmart here and you'll see certain group of people who come from the border will have their kids in there drinking sodas and stuff and chips, opening them up, eating them, and then just leaves it without paying for it.
Yeah. So yeah. So I don't know. I just think things would be differently if the woman was dressed in that manner, right?
Yeah. I mean, if she's dressed spectacular, we're going to shoot our shot. But even if she's dressed not spectacular, we're going to shoot our shot because we look at the physical appearance of women. We look at
which is why I don't buy it. Which is why I don't buy what you're saying. Because if that woman had a bonnet and house shoes on, ain't no way.
But wait a minute, does she have an ass? That's what I'm saying. Okay, let's say I'm shooting my shot. Because guess what? From where I'm at, and this is a fact, ladies, you might not want to believe this. Women level up is what they say, the young kids say, right?
Men too.
Yeah, no, not necessarily. Men usually level down. We usually level down. Why? Because the expectations are lower at that level. Think about it. Let's say I'm a banker and I got millions of dollars.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. How many guys that are millionaires or Jeff, something like that? You're up there in that kind of level. How many of those guys date women that are on their level or above? Very rare. It's very rare.
Okay, but let me ask this question. Isn't that kind of the way it's supposed to be? Because I know as a woman, a lot of women have heard marry up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Marry up meaning marry somebody who's got more than you. Somebody who's got something per se. Who's got a little money and who's doing well. Do you think that women, because you went, your analogy, hoeing goes back through generations, and I also think that knowledge goes back through generations.
Sure.
I just want to put that. But do you think that's wrong for a woman, a grandmama, mama, whoever, to tell their young daughter or granddaughter to marry up?
No, because that concept goes back thousands of years. It always goes back thousands of years.
Let me ask you this. Then why is it that black women, and I'm one of them, that feel like if you expect I won't say I'm one of them and that my man has to be making law. Not like that.
Sure.
But why is it that black women especially are made to feel like they're gold diggers if they expect for their man to take care of them or have something? Why is that placed on us and not other women? Okay,
number one is because, again, the feminazis have warped the narrative to make you women out there to shame you guys into doing something that's been done for thousands of years. There's nothing wrong. Let's say in the Middle East right now, in the modern age, they see a girl who comes from a poor village, right? And they marry her to a man that has a certain status in the community or whatever. That's what they want for their daughter so she can have a better life and it helps the family. That's been going on since Jesus' time, for all you Christians out there. Since Jesus' time. Fast forward to the feminist movement, and now, we equal. You don't need no man's money. You don't need to do this. Now look where we're at. And this is where a lot of women get shamed to think, oh, well, I'm a gold, you're a gold digger, whatever. Now you have a generation, 2 generations of young men that have been raised in single mother homes. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because my mother was a widower. Okay. All I have was my mom raising me and my brother, but she raised us to be men and our expectations of men. So with these 2 generations of these young men raised in these questionable situations, they're going to take that feminism from their mom and use that as a productive man and say, oh, she's a gold digger. Because if you ever watch some of these shows, and, for some reason I was watching them the other day, there was a guy on there, he was getting sued for something, and the mother was the witness. The mother was acting up more, and this man was in his 30s. He was 30 years old, and his mother is in there speaking for him and, in his business. A man at a certain age, when you leave home, your mom ain't speaking for me no more. It's okay, like Demetri, you know my mom, love her to death, right? But sometimes I got to check my mom and say, look, I got this. But we've got these young men, because of the feminist movement, that think that, oh, well, yeah, well, Your Honor, this is what the lady said. Your Honor, it's not his baby, and the judge, and, and she was doing this, and what are you doing with all this information? And this was a white couple, and then the father on the other side, well, I think, Judge, the lady should be, I think they should get divorced. What are you doing in their business?
Okay.
Because we have a generation fail, like I've been telling you, that have wrecked this country, that have wrecked this culture that we have. And it's not just black, it's black, white, whatever. Because it's a white man saying that, I think that this the marriage should be over, Judge. Why are you interjecting in these people's business? Who are you as a father to come in there and say what should be done? Your daughter made a choice. Let them deal with it. And this is the problem I have with the baby boomer generation.
By advertising on YouTube,
they won't back down so let other people can flourish. Other groups can flourish.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, so let me ask you this. Put yourself in that gentleman's shoes, his flip-flops, good socks.
Sliders.
Yeah, and you walk over to, do you own a pair of those, by the way?
I do.
Okay, so you walk over to him, let's say you're him, and you walk over to her, and you shoot your shot, and you have everything that he has on, and she says those things to you. What is your response? Do you respond the way he did? Like, what would you say?
I ain't the one to be played like a poo buddy, because I'm from the streets, so you know what's up. For those that are listening, that is NWA and the Posse. That was Ice Cube. I ain't the one. So if you can go get that album, great album. But well, my response, to where I'm at right now, I would just
put yourself in his shoes with everything on.
Yeah, no, but like I said, where I'm at in life right now and my maturity level, I would just walk away from her. I wouldn't say anything because, it's obvious this woman's mind has been warped. It's no point in trying to rationalize anything with the woman that looks at me materially, period.
Okay. Now, so if I was in her shoes, whatever kind of shoes she was wearing at the time, and a gentleman came over to me and he was dressed that way and all of that, let's say I wasn't into him. I would just say, oh, you know what? No, thank you. Or, whatever. I got somebody.
Well, your problem, Demetri, is you're always trying to not cut the guy off at the knees.
Well, why though? Why? I've never understood that from a woman's point of view. And I'm going to just say this. I don't know. Some women might get mad at me. I think you're a mean and evil person. And you need therapy if you think that's how you should talk to people. And you should talk to men. Because to your earlier point, it is hard for a man, to go up to a woman. A lot of men, it takes some courage to say, okay.
It does, because our egos. It's an ego.
Yeah, I can do it. I'm going to go and shoot my shot, right? You do, and I know why you talking to me. Who do you think you is? Get your hurry. I was there. Okay, sis. Why do you need to talk to him that way, opposed to saying, you know what, I'm flattered and thank you so much, but I'm involved with somebody. But how's your day going? You know, or whatever. Because I'm good at being able to switch the topic or whatever, and leaving the person with their dignity. But I'll.
And you know, the sad thing is, women don't understand, since we're the hunters, like we're supposed to be. That's what I'm saying. We get confused on what you want us to do when we try to pursue, because women like someone like to pursue, but someone, I'll do my own thing, I'll pursue. You got women out there that will pursue men. They think, well, I can do what he does. Fine. And that's good and great. But you guys look all nice. You look all pretty. How would you feel if we looked at you and said, how dare you even think I'm going to come over to you and buy you a drink? You know what I mean? I mean, how would that hurt your ego after you got, your hair done and your nails done?
To me, it would hurt if I felt like I was, fly enough, whatever, to approach a man, which I would never do, ladies. That's something I don't approach men, never, ever, okay? But if I did, and he was like, girl, please, you couldn't even come and change my bed sheet, boo. I would be hurt. And so I think it would behoove us, and we got like 4 minutes left here. It would behoove us.
We could keep going.
Because I know we got the podcast and whatever.
Yeah, no, we can keep going. Go ahead.
It would behoove us to learn how to communicate. And talk to people how you would want to be talked to. Because I'm sure that man or whoever's doing the approaching, preferably the man, I'm sure he's like, this could be a gamble. It could be a crapshoot. I could come away with the number, or I could not come away with the number. But for sure, I'm not expecting for her to just dress me all the way down and, leave me my ego and my feelings smashed. Because I'm assuming he walked away and said all the things he said about her because he was like, first of all, I didn't expect that. But since you did, I'm going to get on your level and talk about you too.
Exactly.
So I don't think that, I don't know the man, but I have a hard time believing that's who he is. Naturally, I think that was a reaction to what she said to him.
Right. Again, we got a long way to go in regards to how we're treating each other and stuff. Like I said, we've raised a generation of young girls that have, and young men that are into materialism. And, that's what it's about, holding a black, and I can only speak for, my people, holding a black woman accountable. When does that happen? No matter what she does, like I said, by putting that viral video up, she thinks she's cool. Look, girl, look, he's trying to come at me, girl. Look at this, and again, maybe it's just me. I'm on the YouTube all the time and I'm looking at different things just like you do when you do your research. I have yet to run across a video where I see Hispanic women doing that to their men, or Asian women doing that to their men. And so I'm sure there is videos, but I have yet to see it. You know what I mean? And it's just sad. It's just a sad thing.
Well, I will say this, and we talk about this a lot. In our community, we do so much clowning and buffoonery, and I'm going to try to go by world star. We do all those type of things to get attention. And a lot of times it's negative. And so, I noticed when I'm on Facebook, they have these reels now, right? It's not the stories, but the reels, and you're scrolling and you see. And normally when I see the reels, I see black people acting a damn fool. Yeah. And it has millions of views. And I'm like, okay, Facebook, if I get on here and say something intelligent, maybe about white supremacy or something, I might get flagged or something.
Yep.
But yet you allow Negroes, and I've been seeing this thigh dance where people are shaking their thighs, and it's like, I can't tell you how many times I've seen that. And so you allow those type of things to go on, but the knowledge stuff, you mess with people. Like, I have so many people who are not woke in the fashionable sense, but are woke for real, who are always in Facebook jail, for whatever reason. And so I say that to say, in our community, we get attention from everybody for acting like damn clowns all day long. And if you think I'm lying, make a post about, I don't know, something Malcolm X said.
Well, make a post about the recently deceased Sidney Poitier.
Right. And then see how many people will like that. Make a post about somebody twerking or something below gutter behavior, and everybody gonna have something to say. They
Not gutter, say
share
city girl behavior. City girl.
yeah. So the point that I'm making is we get rewarded for clown behavior. There's incentive to go viral to pull a man's pants down in the middle of the gas station per se.
Exactly, and to emasculate black men. That's the thing. Anything goes wrong, black women, blame a black man. You got caught stealing weave, and now you're going to jail. Blame a black man. Well, if black men didn't